Philadelphia, please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
When I was growing up, I had a friend who was like a latchkey kid, and he would get off the bus, and he had 2 hours to himself before his parents came home. So he'd get off the bus, he'd open the door in the house, he had full reign of the house. And we're still little, but he's like old enough to, go ahead and make himself a grilled cheese if he wants something, anything, just till his parents get home. And one day he comes home and his parents had a get together the night before, and he sees laid out just a little bit left of some wine. And he's like, oh wow, I know that this is grown-up juice, but I want to try it because I'm not supposed to have it, because I know I'm not supposed to have it, right? And so picks it up and he's weighing the options in his head. He's like, I could try it, but what if I get caught? I'd be in so much trouble. Oh, but I really want it. Maybe nobody will know. And he's going over and over it in his head to the point where he decides, I'm gonna just have a little sip. And he's bringing it to his lips, and then he ends up slipping it out of his hand, drops it, stains the carpet, right? So now he's freaking out because it's like, oh no, they'll know there wasn't a stain there when they left. This is all on me. And he did what a lot of kids would do in that scenario. He made it worse. He was like, the only thing, and I can understand he's a kid, but this is a mistake that I don't think I would have made. The best thing for him to do in that moment, he thought, was to make a bigger mess. And then that way, the stain won't be so bad. So he grabbed a rock and he threw it through the window. Which was a huge mistake because he went outside to get the rock and then threw it from inside outside. He realized what he had done as soon as he did it, so then he had to go back outside, grab the rock, carefully pick up all the glass, bring it back inside, lay out the glass next to the rock, next to the stain. And then his parents get home, and when they come home, immediately they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? And he's had an hour 20 to think up a story, So he's over here like, it was crazy. They're like, what happened? You got the rock going through the windows, all this glass on the floor and the stain. He's like, well, the stain's probably not as big of a deal as the broken window when you really think about it, right? And they're like, what happened? And he says, well, the rock came through the window and it must have hit the glass that had the wine in it, the wine that really shouldn't have been left out. That's an adult beverage. I'm a minor. And then it must have hit the perfect angle to hit that glass and this glass and then knock over and then make a stain on our beautiful 3-bedroom carpet. And his parents were like, but did you see it happen? Like, how did this happen? Did somebody throw this? And he's like, uh-oh, because he didn't think that far. And so he was like, yeah, the man threw it. And they were like, what man? And now he's in deep because he's like, yeah, what man? What am I doing? And so he's like, yeah, there was a man that, threw the rock through the window and everything. And you saw him? Yeah, I saw him. He threw it and he ran and everything. And he thought maybe that would be the end of it. But from his parents' perspective, there was someone who threw a rock into the window, maybe to get inside while their son was home. So they had more and more questions, and he didn't know what to do. He was freaking out, Next thing he knows, the police have been called, and the police come over, and they're like, what did the man look like? And they over here taking notes and stuff, and he's like, he doesn't know what to say next because he didn't think this far. And that's how I feel like Trump must feel about Epstein, because it goes so deep. It's like he didn't think this far in the lies. Like he just didn't account for it. He thought he could make it quiet, It's not going to be pitched as a direct and absolutely direct order from Trump, what the DOJ did, but the DOJ came out after interviews saying, oh, there's so much information, we're just trying to figure out how to put it out there in a way that's clear. Oh, there's so many files, there's a list of names, there's logs, there's a client list. After saying all this stuff in the media, the DOJ comes out and says, actually, the investigation is closed. We're not going to be prosecuting anybody else, and I think we got to the bottom of it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's not going to stand at all. That's not going to stand with anybody, because you got to remember who Trump garnered with this belief that he released the Epstein files. He's got MAGA, sure, but he also has Q. Nobody talks about Q anymore, but they're still around. And they believe deeply that Donald Trump is going to be the one to unleash all of the truth. All the evidence will come out. When Trump is president, he'll turn over everything on the powerful cabal that has been victimizing people across the world. And then he's like, hey, yeah, there's no... And I think he thought that he could really bury it, that he could truly bury it. But he's wrong. He's wrong because there are a lot of things that he didn't account for. There are people that Trump controls. There are people who he orders around, and there are people who blindly follow him, sure. But he didn't count on things like Jeffrey Epstein talking before he died to a biographer for like 100 hours. Like just a ridiculous amount of time. I have friends I don't think I've spoken to for 100 hours. 100 hours, you probably say a lot of nothing, and you probably say some pretty interesting stuff. Those 100 hours of conversation is how we know that Trump and Epstein were tight for years. Well, even Epstein said he knows some of the inner workings of the White House because him and Trump would just chop it up. You know what I mean? That's heavy. That's a lot to try to sidestep. And Trump's been making mistakes this whole time. Even when Epstein died, right? Epstein dies, he was in jail and he passed. Who can say how? And, Ghislaine Maxwell gets, charged, has a whole trial, gets convicted, sentenced to 20 years in prison. And apparently what we're hearing now is that at the time, Trump floated pardoning her. And the people that heard that almost couldn't believe it. Why would he pardon her? That's crazy. And it's like, actually, it's not that crazy when you see the picture of all them hanging out, like, in the 90s, and they met in the 80s, and they used to fly around together. Like, that's his buddy. And he even said himself, these are his words out of his mouth, when asked about Ghislaine Maxwell during the trial, he said, oh, I wish her well. Somebody that's on trial for trafficking. Somebody with ties to you. I wish her well. And then people were like, why would you wish her well? And then they brought it up again, and Trump was like, I wish lots of people well. And we were like, no, you don't. I've been watching you the whole time. I don't think you wish anybody well that I've seen. All you come up with is nicknames. Man floated pardoning her. That's crazy. And then the DOJ comes out, hey, yeah, this is done. Nothing else to see here. And people were having a hard time wrapping their heads around that. People who usually stump for Trump hard. No matter what he says, they manage to twist it in a way that maybe could make sense to you, and they'll say that that's what he means. One of the reasons that Trump can do everything that he does and it comes off a different way to everybody is because so many people think that they're the Trump whisperer. Trump will say something out of nowhere, And then there'll be people like, well, what he actually meant was something more reasonable that I'm gonna say right now. And I'll be like, that's interesting, because he didn't say any of those words in that order when he was speaking. And I think he had a teleprompter, so I don't see how that's possible. And so everybody thinks that they can be the Trump whisperer, and it's just not working this time. You see people trying to come up with why Trump, why the FBI, why the Attorney General would all of a sudden, what feels like out of nowhere, try to shut this whole thing down, right? Alex Jones, of all people, saw what the DOJ did, and he made a video crying. I think it's very important. When, when a man shows emotion, not to just ridicule him for it because it's easy. But Alex Jones cries weird. Alex Jones cry weirder than anybody I've ever seen in my life. I don't wish anything good for Alex Jones, but to see him cry felt like something happened to me too. Like, it's... Alex Jones is up here like, folks. Like his eyelids were doing sit-ups, crying. I'm sick to my stomach, and I just can't believe this thing is happening. Wipe your face, dog. Like, and even Alex Jones trying to come up with something. He's like maybe the deep state got to him, and the deep state is like in his body, and that's why he's doing this stuff right now. And then he'll be back to normal after he has one of my protein shakes. You can go to my website and buy frog protein for $19.99. No, it was crazy. Because Alex Jones, you gotta remember, this dude is a proper conspiracy theorist. Old school. There's something deeper behind everything. Everything at all times. And I'm not talking about like chemtrails. I'm not talking about like government operations. There's something deeper behind everything that happens all the time. Hillary Clinton went on The Tonight Show. Pretty sure this was on The Tonight Show. And she was trying to open a jar of pickles, right? I don't remember what the bit was, but that's what was happening. And Alex Jones pulled it up, and right after she opened the jar, he was like, you see? Do you see what happened right there? Hillary Clinton didn't open that jar. Now, in the video, she has opened the jar. Hillary Clinton didn't open that jar. That jar was pre-opened. All right? You can tell because there was no pop. There's supposed to be a pop. There was no, I brought the same jar. I'm going to open for him right now. And this man spends a while trying to open the jar. He spends an uncomfortable amount of time trying to open the jar. I think at one point he even had a rag too. You know, like those kitchen tricks you use? He over here, you know, sometimes you like tap the top of it, you like. And he's like, I can't even open it right now, folks. That's how you know this thing right here, she didn't open that jar. So imagine Alex Jones on Epstein. No. I just think about the way that MAGA has been reacting, because it is a full-on revolt. Truly, it's a thing that they cannot fathom is happening. Whether it's Q, whether it's MAGA, or whether it's just people who have been following the Epstein case from the beginning. Because you got to remember what Epstein stands for. He is the ultimate boogeyman. He is the ultimate beacon for people that believe that all the elites are in on something together. And it's easy to make him that because he had an island billionaires were flying around. People went to him for tax advice and for law advice. He was this financier, even though I don't think he had a law degree and he wasn't a CPA. So it's like, what are you doing with people's taxes that you helping? And so this dude, he represents a lot. He stands for a lot in conspiracy theory world and in just the regular world. This is someone who has ties to billionaires, to royalty, who come to him for horrific acts. And now you're telling us, there's nothing else to see here. There's nothing else to see between, me and him especially. There's nothing. Don't look. Stop. 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 And so then Trump, for his part, is watching this whole thing go down, and he's watching people argue about it in front of him, people who are, in his administration and on his side, argue about the best way to handle it, going back and forth. Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all names that sound like they're about to be called down on The Price is Right. Like, all three of them are constantly going at it because then, Bongino is upset with Pam because he thinks that Pam overpromised and underdelivered and everything. Why would you even say that this stuff was coming unless you had a plan? You were just talking in front of the camera. And then Pam is going back at him, and Trump's watching this whole thing. And then in a press conference, they even asked him, they actually asked Pam Bondi a question about the tapes and the DOJ's memo and everything. And Pam Bondi was ready to answer. She was about to speak, and Trump interrupted her. He's like, hey, look, are we still talking about this guy? Like, no, like what? Like, why? Like, years? Like, why? Like, everybody's talking about this dude. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm sick of this for you, Pam. You don't even feel like answering, do you? And Pam didn't catch. She wasn't quick enough. She was like, no, I don't mind answering. And I know Trump had to be sick when that happened. It's like, no, go ahead and answer then. And, Pam Bondi talked about how they released a lot of stuff, because there's a difference between releasing evidence around a case or releasing vital information or declassifying things and then releasing stuff, right? So they released a bunch of stuff to look like they were releasing something. Like, they released the videotape of the night that Epstein got up out of here. And the problem with the tape is that it's always been talked about as if there was a tape of his cell that would prove definitively that, like, nothing untoward happened, right? But the tape isn't of, like, Jeffrey Epstein's cell with him sitting there and everything. It's of, like, a hallway. And you're giving a tape to conspiracy theorists. They're gonna do some extra looking. There's like 10 hours of tape. But there is 61 seconds missing. I don't know how long it takes to kill somebody. But if there's 61 seconds missing, I'm assuming that it takes 50 seconds and gives you 11 seconds to get down the hall. And I'm not even saying that's what happened, by the way. I'm just saying 61 seconds, that's weird. And they asked Pam Bondi about it, and Pam Bondi is like, look, it's a very old system from the 90s where the tape resets at midnight, so it takes a second to, like, reset, and that's why 61 seconds are missing. And I had a lot of questions. I had a ton of questions. One, my first question, didn't even concern Epstein. My first question was, why are you telling everybody that? Because that is very valuable information if you're a prisoner in that. Because you know what they play in prison, the news. You probably sit there in Gen Pop like, wait, it what? Every day? I gotta go take care of something. So she says, look, this is the way that system works. So we're actually gonna be supplying more video footage to show that there's a minute missing every night. And I was like, why would you say that? The people in prison can hear you. But also, that's a pretty bad system. It was supposed to be watching somebody, and it takes a minute to blink. That's pretty wild. That it's just gonna be missing every day, and you're telling us that like it's not an issue at all. Felt crazy to me. And then they release the video, and then people go digging, they go looking. And one of the things they find is that the video has been doctored. Somebody at some point read the video through Adobe Premiere and did something. And I'm not saying, look. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Adobe Premiere, all right? All I'm saying is I would have thought the government, with all their resources, you know what I mean? Like the government would have like a special program. That just feel pretty cheap to make an Adobe Cloud account that you run this Epstein tape through. Like nobody's gonna know, so then people are wondering about the missing minute. They're wondering about how this video's been tampered with. And then even people who watch the full 10 hours of the video, because you gotta remember, some of these people are dedicated. They're like, there's actually a guard that leaves one way and never comes back, which proves that there's two ways to enter that hallway. And I was like, oh man, he's so screwed. Trump, he's very good at creating a distraction, and he tries. He did his best. He said that he was gonna revoke Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. On any other day in American history, that would be a headline. Any other day, that'd be wild. And look, Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump have what I think is now like a 20-year feud going on, which is absolutely insane. The President of the United States has the ultimate and deepest beef. His arch nemesis is the actress from Harriet the Spy. That is mind-boggling. The leader of the free world is ready to have it out at any given moment with the voice actress from the main gorilla in the Disney movie Tarzan. The man with his fingers on the button for the nukes has a deep hatred in his heart, decades long, for Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award winner Rosie O'Donnell. This is an unacceptable timeline. That is crazy. I don't even know what Rosie O'Donnell did that day. Like, I don't know what even brought it up. But he says, I'm thinking about revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. If Ireland wants to keep her, they could have her. And any other day, this would be the story. He knows that. Who knows? Look, I'm of two minds about this thing because it is clearly a distraction, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I'm of two minds about this thing because, one, obviously, there's a world where he's just like saying stuff to say stuff to like swiftly like move the news cycle in another direction, and he may not do anything. But the fact, as a sitting president, that he would even muster up the corner of his thumbs to put that into a phone to go out to the world is so deeply insane. Because this thing that he's doing now is not just a step too far. It's the entire field too far. Rosie O'Donnell is an American citizen, a citizen. And so if he can do that, then truly, 100%, without a doubt now, nobody is safe. What started this whole like immigration, fear-mongering, you gotta remember, because you have to understand, as a platform, people have been running on it as long as there have been, green cards and immigration programs. Oh, is it a little too much? Oh, we don't like what it's doing to the landscape of our neighborhood and everything. And people have won votes on it. That's nothing new. But what's turned is the way that people are openly nasty and disgusting about it. There's always been racism in it. It's mainly what it is, because if you really cared about people coming over the right way, the legal way, then you would make the right way and the legal way clear, and you wouldn't kidnap people at their green card interviews, and you wouldn't have like mass people picking people up after baseball practice, okay? If that's what you cared about. And you also, you've structured this thing to make these people seem like monsters. That's been the plan this entire time, because if somebody is a monster, it is part of the human condition and a flaw that we have. As long as we see somebody as a monster, whether they are or not, we don't really care what happens to them. It's why they can make conditions in prison so bad, because the assumption is, well, everybody that's there deserves to be there, so screw them, right? If they don't have clean water, or if they can't shower, or if their food's contaminated, good. Because they did something bad to earn that place, right? And it helps you strip the basic humanity of looking at another person, whether they've made a mistake or not, or looking at another person, whether from a different country or not. And if you get really good at stripping that humanity away, you can do whatever you want. And then you start to be able to do whatever you want to anybody that you want. And that's what's been creeping up this entire time. What started as like, guys, they're eating the dogs. Remember, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Nobody's pets are safe. It was getting so dumb. It was past like, these are criminals and they're killing us and they're coming over here to do terrible things. And then it started to morph a little bit more. Okay, look, I know that they're going through the proper channels and everything, but they have a misdemeanor in another country. Do we really want somebody like that to become a citizen? Maybe we should deport them now. No, I understand that they have their green card, but they also, I don't know, they have this weird past I don't like, or they wrote an op-ed I didn't like, or they said a thing that I didn't like. So do we really want someone like that in our country? I know that they are a fully naturalized citizen, but the way that they became a citizen is a little bit under suspect, because I said so just now. So maybe we'll deport them. And now we're all the way to the point that American citizens that I do not like can be gone. And so you see, when you let somebody's humanity get stripped away over and over and over again, and it's in the back of your head, and you even go with the lie. They probably did something, or maybe they shouldn't have done that thing, or maybe they have a good reason. When you do that enough and it finally comes for you, don't be surprised. Because the thing with the Rosie O'Donnell, it's like there's a part of it that I think is nothing. I'm not saying that thing is absolutely gonna happen. I'm just also saying that the fact that he even fixed his fingers to put it out is a problem. And normally, on any other day, it would have been such a problem that it's what everyone on the news would have been talking about. But this was a different day. This was a day where Dan Bongino is so upset he doesn't even report in to work. He's tired of arguing with Pam Bondi. He might resign. Other people are talking about resigning. This Epstein thing isn't going away. And so then Donald Trump did what he does best, what he does in a crisis, and what he does when it counts. He made it worse. Like a kid throwing a rock through his own window, he makes it so much worse. And now Trump is dealing with that fallout. There are people calling for Pam Bondi to resign. There are people that are asking Trump extra questions. And then Trump crashes out spectacularly while y'all were probably parking. And so I'm gonna do this real quick. I don't like to use my phone or bring my phone out often, but I have to read you what Trump posted. And admittedly, look, I'm gonna read every word that he posted, all right? But I will be doing it the way that I read it in my head. This is insane. What's going on, my boys? Boys in quotations. Oh no, what's going on with my boys? Boys in quotations. And in some cases, gals? Also in quotations. Are you asking us a question about what's going on with them, or are you confused about the gals specifically? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job, all caps. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect, all caps, administration. The talk of the world, all caps, and selfish people, in quotes, are trying to hurt it, all over a guy who never dies. What? I'm not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm not saying that at all. I'm like specifically not saying that. I need you to understand that I am explicitly not saying that Trump killed Epstein. I'm just saying that if I was like driving in my car and I hit somebody and I somehow got away with it, but I saw them every time I closed my eyes, I'd be like, this guy never dies. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. This is a man who hasn't slept. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama? You know what's so good about files written by Obama is that Trump was sitting there knowing he know Epstein. Trump knows Epstein so well. They were friends. Trump lived so close to Epstein in Florida that Epstein had to knock on his door and let him know he was on the sex offender registry. Like, that's how close they lived together. He knocked on the door, was like, hi, the court has ordered me to notify you that I'm in the area. I have been convicted of a few crimes, and I left my suit jacket over here last night, so. That's crazy. By Obama, and it's a list. It's a list. It's, why are we giving publicity to files? You know what it also is? This man was sitting here knowing that he knows Epstein. He's sitting here knowing that this looks very bad. And he did the DOJ thing, even though it's not directly tied to him, even though the president isn't allowed to interfere. He clearly did the DOJ thing where he told them to shut it down. And now people are rebelling against him. And he's sitting there like, how can I make it DEI? Obama. Thanks, Obama. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? So I guess they were all in a room in this scenario, and they wrote the files together in tandem. Like, Obama just knew that everyone in the Biden administration would be in the Biden administration one day, so he gathered them all together. But this is also before Epstein ever died or anything, so Obama time traveled to like right after to know it would hurt Trump, so then he came back in regular time and he sat down Hillary Clinton, Comey, Brennan, and the loser. He had to get all the losers and criminals of the Biden administration in one room so they could write. Also, wrote the files? Isn't it a bunch of documents? And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration. I do like that he said there are criminals in the Biden administration, but there are some people who aren't criminals. They're just losers. but I want to make sure I address them too. You're not safe. You're not safe just because you're not a criminal if you're a loser as well, all right? In fact, you're a loser because you're not a criminal, all right? I have 34 felony convictions, and I'm the president, okay? You out here not even a criminal. You can't even criminal good. Loser. And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia, Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, intelligence is in quotes, the laptop from hell. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I really don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like Hunter Biden's laptop or a laptop with Hillary's emails on it, or if he just had a bad experience with an HP laptop. But like, that is also in all caps. The laptop from hell and more, question mark. They created the Epstein files just like they created the fake, all caps, Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends, this man hurt because my so-called friends, as a world leader, my so-called friends is the most Regina George Mean Girls line I've ever heard in my entire life. My so-called friends is wild. Foreign diplomats, world leaders had a dinner that Trump was at, and they made fun. This is his first term. They made fun of him at the dinner. He could probably hear him in the background. They were laughing. It was like Boris Johnson and Justin Trudeau and other people, and they were over here doing him. They were over here like just making fun of him hard, cracking up, talking about how he doesn't know how to spell, everything. They were getting him good. They were roasting him. And then this man comes back to the U.S. and I'm pretty sure it was Fox News that played the tape that somebody got of them making fun of him, not with a bunch of audio, and his head was down a little bit. You could tell his feelings were hurt, for real. And he was looking down and everything. And he just said, yeah, I didn't know that, like, they were, like fake like that or anything. Even in that moment, he didn't say my so-called friends. My so-called friends is insane. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? And this is good. This is clever. He's doing what he does. This is the Republican talking point that's going to go around. Look for it over and over and over again. Well, why didn't Biden release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could hurt Trump, that could derail MAGA, why didn't he release it? All right, that's the most I know you are, but what am I logic I've ever heard in my life? Because you're the president now, so you could release them. I know that Biden didn't release them, but you could release them. You could. You could release them if you wanted. You could, you could, I dare you. I was just saying, I dare you. I bet you won't. I bet you're too scared. I bet you won't. But you could. I know Biden didn't, but you're the president now, and I thought you were a better president, so you could. You could do anything that Biden didn't do. You said that. You were like, there's a bunch of things Biden can't do that I can do, that only I can do, and one of those things is release the Epstein files. Do it. I bet you won't do it, though, because you're scared. No, it's just funny, man. This man, he's going through it. Why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or the MLK Jr. files, which is a terrible idea to bring up different conspiracy-laden things while you talk about there not being a conspiracy. That's crazy. That's a terrible move. This man is derailing. No matter how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. This man is spiraling. It's never enough for some people is not what a president says. It's never enough for some people is not how you speak as a president. That's how you speak as a dad who just finished a 16-hour shift and somebody tells you to take out the trash. It's never enough for you people. Every day, I've been awake for 24 hours. It's my birthday. Yeah, thanks for the time. It's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And that's true. That's true. We're all going to die. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, all caps, which will continue to be our complete priority, all caps. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job, all caps. She's great, all caps. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she's looking into as AG, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead, all caps. Now it's the hottest, all caps, country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. There's a thing I read about a long time ago. There was this leader named Father Yod, and Father Yod was the head of the Source family. The Source family was this collection of people. Some people called them a cult and everything, but they mostly kept to themselves. Like, they ran like a vegan restaurant, I think, and they just minded their own business. But one of the most interesting things about Father Yod was Father Yod told them early on, before it was ever even really a cult, before there were even a lot of members, I'm God, and don't go to a hospital. That was his thing. And that happens in a lot of cults, by the way. Don't go to the hospital because hospitals are full of experts who can provide answers that I can't. So if I can cut you off from other experts, if I can cut you off from people reasoning in a way that is just direct with logic, I've already started to bring you into the fold in a way that you'll never leave. And so Father Yod would tell them, don't go to a hospital, right? And so they didn't. Members of the Source family would not go to a hospital. And they did what I would say was generally well for a cult as far as length. A lot of cults fall apart in those first few years. You know what I mean? First year, everything sort of starts out good. Everybody's just having a good time, making friends, living in a commune and everything. And then year two, somebody try to get you to drink something or do something else. Just people start coming for your mouth, you know what I mean? And all sorts of ways that get uncomfortable, and that's usually when the cult falls apart, because there are people that are like, ooh, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna drink that, ooh, that's weird, no, I'm gonna go, right? And then that's when leaders sort of crumble and start having power grabs, and they get paranoid and everything. This didn't really happen, at least from what I read, to the Source family, Father Yod, and they stayed together long enough that there were members of the community that started coupling and even having children. And it got to the point where they were about to have the first baby born into the Source family, but they can't go to a hospital. They can't go to a hospital, and something feels wrong. And no one can really describe what it is, but basically this member starts going into labor in real time. So everybody is looking over to Father Yod. You know, you said you were God. You told us not to go to the hospital. I think you're going to have to deliver this baby. And so this man does it. He delivered the baby, but when the baby came out, it wasn't making any noise. And it wasn't moving at all. And people started crying. Everyone was devastated. There was so much joy around having a new person in the family. And Father Yod, he did something. I don't know what he did, but the members described it as him just clearing the airway gently a little bit, and out of nowhere, after all that silence, after no movement, the baby cried. and it started moving. And if he thought he had followers then, if he thought that they were believers then, we don't need a hospital. And it got to the point where one day Father Yo was like, you know what? I'm done with this whole like earthly thing. I'm tired of healing y'all and everything. Everybody coming up to me all the time. I got a cold. Because that's what he would do. People would like have a cold and then he'd be like, blah, 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 and then they would still have a cold and they just get over it in 2 weeks because it was a cold, right? But then when they finally got over the cold, he'd walk by and be like, did it? And it's like, all right, well. And so, just one day, Father Yod said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a vacation. Get away from y'all for a little bit. I'll come back, but I'm gonna take a vacation. I'm gonna take it in heaven. And so he got on a 1,300-foot cliff with a glider. Because I guess he thought he was gonna glide up enough to just like get to heaven's front door or something. Like this man is truly like lost to the sauce, right? He'd been leading the cult too long. He believed him now. I wish I had half the confidence. Because that's so crazy to think you're just gonna fly up to heaven and stay up there, but you also need a glider. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least people on ecstasy think they gonna just fly immediately, you know? This dude gets on the glider, takes off, and never did this before in his life. Wasn't trained or anything. And so he jumps off the cliff in the glider, and he goes perfectly down. He goes straight down. This man, bow, right? And so the followers like, oh, he went the wrong way. And then they come down the cliff and everything, and they come to get him. He laid out. I can't even do it. He laid out. He laid out like, but not like busted up. He's not dead. He's laid out like this. And didn't have any, to what I read at least, he didn't have any significant, any substantial like bruising or markups on his body. Another miracle, you would think. Turns out everything stayed intact, but his guts were all upside down. Like this man stayed perfectly in his body, but his lungs were in his feet. Like he and so they run up on him, and he over here laid out like, I can't even do it right. Like he laid out like, when they find him, glider crash, he laid out like this. And they run up there like, Father, Father. And he's like, get me to a hospital. Get me to a hospital. Now. And the followers are like, what? And he's like, yeah, the one on 32 Roscoe, please. Hurry up and get me to a hospital. And there's different accounts of this. I'm sure that there's followers that say he never asked for a hospital. I'm sure there's followers that say he asked for a hospital immediately. But this dude is like, get me to a hospital. And then the followers are like, what? Why though? Like, you said never go to a hospital. You said that that's not real science in there. You said that you get sicker if you go to a hospital. We can't take you to a hospital. And he said, get me to a hospital. I'm serious. Oh, I feel something upside down. You know what it probably sounded like? I mean, I'm not there. We don't have the footage or anything. But I imagine if you fall 1,300 feet down, you probably sound like that grape lady. Remember that grape lady that was crushing the grapes, and then she fell, and then she went, arr, 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 arr. Off camera, we didn't see her. Because I'm sure when he said, get me to a hospital, they really didn't understand what he was saying at first, because he was like, get me to a hospital. Get me to a, I think my spine behind my balls. Get me to a hospital. But then my man looked intact. So they're like, no, he doesn't need a hospital, he just needs rest. And then he died 9 hours later. And so when I see the way that like MAGA is turning on Trump, it just feels so much like, why would you? Wait. Why would he lie? He really doesn't understand. Trump truly doesn't understand why this thing won't go away. And it's because he doesn't understand people. You know, whether it's, the MAGA base, whether it's Q, whether it's anybody online, anybody interested or concerned about anything to do with Epstein, all those people are people. So if you lead people on and you lie to people, they have a reaction. You can't just get something and give nothing in return. And people won't let it go, and they won't give up on it, because this man is real. He really existed. And he really destroyed a lot of lives. And for all of our faults as humans, we care about that. And so no, we're not just gonna let it go. It's not like some passing fad of a thing. I think it is to him, because he just uses what he needs while he needs it to get what he wants. And once he has it, he throws it or the person who gave it to him away. And it's something that some people are finding out right now, that he'll betray you on a dime. Nothing matters to him. Because if this thing doesn't matter to him, then nothing matters to him at all. There's no way around it. People care because vulnerable people were victimized for a very long time. And whatever part you had to do with that, it can't be covered up, because there's nothing that screams, I'm in the Epstein files, like, stop looking for the Epstein files. One thing that I thought was incredible, one thing that put a smile on my face, was when Rosie O'Donnell responded to Donald Trump talking about revoking her citizenship. And I know I don't like to pull out my phone, but I want to read you what she said. You can actually look. You can actually. This is on her Instagram, so you can actually look this up for yourself. I'm not kidding. This is crazy. So first thing she does is post a picture of Trump and Epstein together, which is genuinely hilarious. And Rosie O'Donnell posted in the caption, "Hey Donald, you rattled again? 18 years later, I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours." I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I watch the news all the time. I watch people try to defend Trump. I watch people attack Trump, and I'm chronically online. So I watch people insult Trump all day long, and I have never come across collapsing brains. Collapsing brain would actually explain everything. It would explain the made-up words. It would explain the spelling. You call me a threat to humanity, but I'm everything you fear: a loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth, an American who got out of the country before you set it ablaze. You built walls, I built a life. I'm an autistic kid in a country where decency still exists. You crave loyalty. I teach my children to question power. You sell fear on golf courses. I make art about surviving trauma. You lie, you steal, you degrade. I nurture, I create, I persist. You are everything that is wrong with America, and I am everything you hate about what's still right with it. You want to revoke my citizenship? Go ahead and try. King Joffrey with a tangerine spray tan. Jeez. I'm not yours to silence. I never was. And then it's the Irish flag signed Rosie. And if I'm being honest, I just never expected. Like, I never expected the president of the United States to be so effectively eviscerated by one of the supporting actresses from A League of Their Own. Like, it just feels wild that this is life. Philly, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you had a fantastic time. I had so much fun with you. Thank you for an incredible weekend at the Fillmore. Thank you for 8 sold-out shows. I appreciate you so much. Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host and fellow stand-up comedian, Logan Nilsson. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm tip-top.
Great.
Yeah, it's been...
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. Apparently, my neighbors are happy. They've been doing burnouts all day.
Yeah. We'll see if it shows up in the audio, but it does sound like you're living next door to the fucking Daytona 500, the way...
Yeah.
It literally just sounded like race cars going in a circle.
We all celebrate in different ways, I guess. We all...
Yeah. I guess for context, because this will be a couple weeks after, but we're recording this the day after, Biden won the election. So a lot of people still out there.
Yeah, still out there.
Celebrating.
Doing a lot of left turns, I guess.
Yeah.
When I first heard it, I thought the apartment was moving. Because the first ones were so loud. They were so
right
loud.
Out front?
They seemed everywhere.
Right.
It sounded like the car was in my apartment. And I think they started being out front, and then now they've moved to more like the side streets. But yeah, and I'm sure if I were out there right now, I'd be like, yes, do it. It is very cool. Because it is. It is like a fun thing to watch someone do.
I love that character in the street racing movies. Yes, do it. I think that's very cool.
Do it. Keep doing it even better.
Yes. Well done, chums. Very cool.
Matt, because here's the thing.
I like it. Burn out, baby. I think it's very cool.
What's funny to me, just in general about myself, is that I'm so scared to drive, but I'm not scared to fly at all. Like
that is interesting.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, I get. But I mean, you're not flying the plane yourself.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like, I guess if I was flying the plane, I would be very stressed out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think why maybe, because do you get nervous when you're riding, like when you're like riding passenger to me? Like, is that nerve-wracking to you just being in a car?
No, because I will here's the thing. This is the way I feel about cars, is that you're in a chair that could kill someone.
Yes.
So as long as I'm not doing the killing, I'm pretty chilled out. Yeah. I've been in the car with people who I know can't drive. I when I got in the car, I was like, this is a bad idea. This guy is about as nearsighted as they come.
Right. So yeah, I'd say it's more just you just like the idea of being chauffeured. You piece of shit. No,
I mean, maybe, but I also think that there's just the level of responsibility and the level of like probability that something bad will happen is just so much more likely in a car than it even is on a plane. Because if you think about it, it's like if you take 5 flights in an entire year, what's the likelihood that this flight is going down? Whereas if you drive every day, You're at least going to have some scares.
You're way more likely to die in a car accident than a plane crash. I almost called it a plane accident. Yeah,
it is an accident usually.
When one plane bumps up into the back of another one, a little.
Can I tell you? I saw a whole documentary about that, and you would not believe how many people lived. two planes
hitting midair,
coming right at each other. The radio, there was like something wrong with the frequency on one, and the other one was like having some other technical issue, so they just didn't see each other until this last second. And we think of planes as like a slow flying thing, but they're super fast.
Oh no, they're crazy fast.
And so the crash happened so fast, and I don't remember if they were both trying to land at the same. I'm positive they were trying to land at the same airport. That's the only reason two planes would.
I could see that.
But then they cut across each other, and basically the wing of one went into the other plane, and then they both crashed. And eyewitnesses on the scene said they saw a guy. This was like, this is only funny because so many people survived. They saw a guy that was like still in his seat. So like something out of a Bad Boys movie, still in his seat. The seat had like separated from the plane, had skidded in the field and just like skidded across, was still on a little bit of fire, and he just undid his seatbelt and walked away.
Fuck it, my hero. Hell yeah.
That dude wanted no parts of whatever was coming next.
It'd be even better if he was sleeping. Like he was like, "Oh, here already."
Already, okay. Looks like they burned that meal, whatever that was.
Airline food, am I right?
Yeah, but no. So that I think that you're right. I can't imagine if I was going to try to fly a plane. I would be like, why are there so many buttons? Either fly or don't. There should just be a fly button. There should just be one button that says fly.
Yeah. This button says New York. This button says L.A. You push one way, push one the other. Yeah, no, you'd be a wreck with that. But no, you are way more likely to die in a car accident than in a plane crash. And I think it's like your most accidents more than likely happen within like 3 miles of home.
Yeah,
for most people.
Yeah, when you let your guard down.
Because I think usually that's. Well, yeah, I think you let your guard down. That's when you're like, oh fuck, I gotta go, and you burn out your driveway to get the hell out. Going towards work. I think is why it's that maybe.
Or it's the end of an election. You decide to drag race a stranger.
Yeah. All day apparently. Oh, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm just gonna drive around Brooklyn and just get into gonna race for pinks, baby. That's what I'm gonna be doing all day. Woo, Biden.
This is how I can tell I'm getting older. Not only am I not out there with them, but as I was hearing the second hour of it, I was like, they wasting good gas money.
Yeah, man. I have that thought all the time. Come on, man. I don't know. I also like it's interesting with all the, maybe we don't want to talk about this because it's topical news and this will be already a couple weeks after, but the interesting thing with all of the celebrations that happen, which like I'm not trying to rain anyone's parade, but like we talked about a little bit ago, but it's like I was immediately seeing videos of like, we're all getting together and we're hanging out now, and seeing in every single video, every story I saw posted, people weren't wearing their masks. I'm like, guys, you guys were the ones who were angry the whole time. Like we can't now be like, pandemic over now. Like no, it's not. It's very much not.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of being so excited you run out into the middle of the street to scream, but you are in traffic now.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope people are celebrating responsibly, I guess, which again, this is going to be in the future of them doing it. So this does nothing for anyone. It's been a wild weekend. It's been a weird one. It's been a strange weekend just because like my girlfriend had to get tested for COVID. She got exposed at work. Which she's a nurse, but it was like a patient that she had who then was negative but tested positive later, and she had all of her gear on. That's why she was fine, but they had her get tested. And when you're waiting on that result, and it's not even for me, but it was like if she has it, then like I got to get tested. And then, being a substitute teacher here too, then it's like, well, then I got to talk to like the contact tracer person for the Mitchell County Health, and And it's just like it immediately. I was just making a list of stuff in my head, being like, I hope I don't have to do all this shit. Like I also hope my girlfriend's not sick, because that would be devastating. But also, I don't want to do this stuff. This is more people I gotta call and deal with. Also, I really hope my girlfriend's fine, but I don't want to make these phone calls.
But also paperwork.
Shit. So, she's fine. By the way, her test came back negative. She's fine. But
you don't want to leave people on a cliffhanger like that.
Yeah, you don't. Well, and I just had a couple people being like, "Oh, do you maybe want like a friend being like, hey, do you want to have beers in the yard or whatever and hang out for a second?" Or talked about helping my brother with his house or something a little bit, because those are people who are take all the precautions too. And he was just like, hey, do you want to do something tomorrow? And I'm just like, well, I gotta wait and make sure COVID's not in my house. And he's like, yes, good idea, thank you.
Oh man, it's also the thing that I think I've just been anxious about is that to what you're saying and to like what we were talking about before, I'm probably going to go home for Thanksgiving, which means I'll get on my first flight of the whole year.
Yeah.
And so it's just had me thinking about flights a lot, like just about the safety and just about like, man,
you're daydreaming about flights. You're having these planes.
Because I normally love to fly. I really do. You buckle up for a movie that's not going to be that good, but it's free, so you don't have to stress about it.
Yeah, I fell asleep during Star Wars Solo. One of my last flights. That's the last movie I watched in a plane, was Solo. At the beginning of it, it was very bad. Then I fell asleep, woke up, and there was some cool shit happening. I'm like, hey, this movie got good while I was sleeping.
While I was gone, y'all really turned this around.
You guys really read the room.
Yeah. Yeah, quick. We're losing him.
No, he's sleeping, man. Get Donald Glover in here. Come on. Let's get...
Yeah, we got him back. Don Glover, nice haircut.
I missed his introduction entirely. Woke up and just like, oh, Lando Calrissian's here. Oh, they're flying from something. Neat.
Yeah. Dude, so I don't know if you saw this. This is actually pretty old story overall. Mm-hmm. But there was this couple that was on a flight, and so this was back before the Face ID, right? When it was still just the finger, right? Just the fingerprint on the phone to unlock it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right? If you wanted to have those extra.
Until you said phone, I was like, Face ID for what?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I've never had to scan anything to get on a flight.
Yeah, like
aside from my ticket.
I'm just saying, like, this is how you know it was like a few years ago, right?
Right.
And yeah. So my man fell asleep, right? Mm-hmm. And his wife, while he's asleep, grabbed his phone, took his finger, and then unlocked his phone with his sleeping hand, right? Mm-hmm. And then when she unlocked the phone, she found everything. She found all the homegirls in there, found everything, and then she started beating his ass so hard they had to land the plane.
Wait, was this someone you knew, or was this a story?
No. This is a news story.
Okay, because I remember this now. I remember.
Yeah.
Once you said they had to land the plane, I remember hearing about that story.
Because then this is what's so funny to me about it, right? Is that so she already found everything out. So he probably been sleeping pretty peacefully for a minute because it took her time to like read through everything.
Right.
Yeah, you know I mean? Like she didn't just open the phone and then just start beating him. She wanted to get all the evidence.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
And so she's delving in. She's finding whole friends she didn't know about, conversations. She's reading through. She's getting paragraphs in, right?
Yeah.
So this the other reason The other reason it makes me laugh is because like you as the dude don't know what she knows, right? But she is so angry that she's not even like playing the when you're just caught when someone's just caught you and so they ask you some leading questions so
Right.
that you can
Yeah.
tell on yourself.
Yeah.
She's not even doing that.
It's
She
doing the Columbo, just like so. One more thing. There's one more thing that I want to ask
right?
you about. Who's
Just waiting to
who's
catch
Janice? Who is who is this Janice, and how do you know her?
you. And so,
She looks like a hoe.
then-
I just want to say.
Columbo got all the receipts. And so then, obviously there's not like a full on transcript of what happened, but from the report that I saw, she basically woke him up by beating him, right? So then this dude is sleeping peacefully and he just feels hands just slap it, right?
Hi, honey.
So
What?
just slap, and then questions in between the slapping. But he doesn't know, like, not only is he going to try to lie first, but he probably doesn't even know what she's talking about because he doesn't know that she knows. So now
Right.
she's like, boom, slap. Who is Janice? And then he's like, huh? And then she's like, don't me, because in her mind, he's already lying. But he genuinely is coming out of sleep. So he's going, as like, I'm waking up back from unconsciousness.
My first thought is like anytime I've fallen asleep on a plane and woken up, it takes a second to be like, where the fuck am I? So now add slapping to that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Now add slapping.
where am I? Who are you? What's happening? What year is it? Who's Janice? That's
Right. And from the report that I saw, not only did she have form, but he was also
in the reports. Really good form. She squared up.
I mean, it didn't say she had good form. It just said that she was beating him handily. So
the report
then my
just says
thing
she
is-
was winning.
Yeah. Oh, easily. He wasn't even covering up well. He needs some lessons. Just some general boxing lessons about your guard because she's breaking through the guard with uppercuts. All right.
While seated in a plane aisle, that's incredibly difficult.
Oh no.
Was she above him?
This is the best part. So
Okay.
then
I was gonna. Was she standing or was she sitting still in the seat next to him, or did she get up?
No. Okay, not only has she hadn't got up yet. All right.
Oh, okay. So that's the thing. So that is some good punches if she's able to really fuck him up seated next to him. That's an awkward way to hit.
And I'm pretty sure she had like I don't have any evidence for this, but I'm pretty sure she had like fully planned it out how she was going to start. Like it wasn't an emotional thing. She thought through, like every sentence she was reading, she was thinking through how she was going to beat this dude's ass. So I'm pretty sure she lowered the seat back table just to box him in a little bit more. All right.
I like that, or I like the idea of her calmly putting it up in preparation for ass beating, of being like, oh well, hang on, I got to do this, and let me undo my seatbelt, and you're gonna need some help, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the attendant now, and then.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like she calmly raised her seatback table and calmly lowered his, and just was setting up everything nicely, right?
Put some coffee on it too.
Probably turned his reading light on just so he'd be blinded. So then not only is she beating his ass, but he is in a window seat. So he's fully boxed in.
Yeah.
He can't get out. Yeah. And so then it's not like no one really knows what's going on when any fight on a plane starts. Okay? So there's like a commotion, but he's not even like yelling like stop hitting me or anything yet because he's just so out of it, right? And then
he just wants to know if they're there yet.
Yeah, so then finally, wouldn't that be great if it was like you start getting beat, but you've also landed, so you'll be able to get away soon. Nah, they were mid-flight. You're 10,000 feet stuck.
Sorry, you're getting beat across 2 time zones.
Yeah, you're about to join the 6 feet deep, mile high club.
Not sure how that math works out, but it's not good for you. It's not good for you.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. I think it ends with you being thrown off the plane.
6 feet deep, mile high club.
And so she's like wailing on him, right?
Right.
And then I don't know if the flight attendant saw first or a passenger saw first, but then they like got involved, like, ma'am, you know what I mean? Because like the thing that's funny to me about stuff like this is that no matter how like trashy someone is behaving, someone at their job still has to say ma'am or sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it always cracks me up. Like, it's like even Waffle House fights, they'll be like, sir, and then they start swinging.
Listen,
then the employee starts fighting.
Which I think it makes the punches more righteous if you say sir while doing it. It really, I don't know. It adds an extra level of stank to it. Just like, oh yeah, sir.
Right?
You know, it really.
And so then
the combination of respectful and disrespectful in one is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Because like this is my thing. So then, you know, people are kind of trying to get her off of him and everything. But like, I don't know if she's just that strong or people are not quite trying to break the fight up good enough. Because there's no way. This is the thing. As someone who watches fights, I love martial arts. I watch UFC, everything.
Yeah.
Refs rarely have a problem breaking up a fight between 2 big guys. So it shouldn't be that hard to break up a fight between a person who's not fighting back and a person who's trying to fight in a middle seat. Like that, like...
Right. Well, but
that seems pretty straightforward.
In a plane, though, those people didn't agree ahead of time that if they get broken up, they have to go to their separate corners. You know, it's a different set of rules that have been laid out. Because really, the main rule is, hey, don't fight on the plane, and already that's being ignored. So now any other form of decorum of someone coming in the middle being like, hey, now, you know, that shit's gone. Sorry, they're already fighting in the air. Like gods.
But I mean, this is my thing. There's at least 2 flight attendants on this plane,
right?
Because it was a decently sized plane, right? So between 2 people,
right,
and what I hope is an air marshal, that's proof that air marshal wasn't on that plane.
Oh, for sure. Or he's cheating on his wife.
So then they cannot seem to stop her. Like she's just in the pocket. She's just landing nice clean strikes. And then I can also tell you, as someone who's tried to break up fights before, that sometimes they're too messy and you end up getting hurt. Absolutely. As the person trying to break up the fight. So I can tell if someone's beating another person well enough, you don't want to get involved. You're like, hey, look, especially like, I'm pretty sure that you are now slowly. So initially, when you see people hitting people, you're usually on the side of the person being hit because no one likes violence, right? You know? But then as she is yelling out more accusations, it does kind of start to seem slightly more even. Yeah, I mean? Like,
right. I mean,
like
most of the time, if I see a woman start punching a man, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, he probably deserves this, but I probably need to do something. You know, like,
yeah, like you try to break it up because you're like, in the off chance that this is just an abusive woman, let's you know, let's break this up.
I don't like seeing people get hurt out and about, but if it's a woman going, it says, I'm like, oh, he probably did something, but not saying it's worth him getting punched. I'm not saying violence is going to solve it, but I guarantee there's a story. Like,
yeah, if she's in the middle of screaming, the best years of my life, I gave you 2 kids, It's like, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start to be a little gentler with your declarations to stop. Like, oh no, ma'am, don't, please, don't do it. And so then they cannot get her off of him, and I guess they just tell the pilot. I guess someone stops trying to bring up the fight and just runs to the cockpit and is like, "Hey, look, we have a situation. Yeah. I can't even pass out the snacks. All right."
Listen, if we don't land this plane, she's gonna bring us all down.
She is gonna use him to beat us. Okay,
she's gonna put a fist through one of the windows, and then this whole cabin's gonna get depressurized.
And so yeah, they landed, and I do remember almost certain she got arrested upon landing. It's like
I thought you were saying she got arrested upon, and I'm like, that is not a phrase. That is not.
No. No, I'm pretty sure they were waiting for her, because you can't, because this is also the thing. She also must have been beating his ass as they were landing. So imagine, you already think you hate flying, right? Imagine you can see out the window the ground getting a little closer, and you just count down in your head, all right, 15, 14, 13, we got to land soon. And then imagine this. So she's beating him, right? Mm-hmm. She's beating him, and then they land. And so he's like, oh, thank goodness I'm saved. But then, because they weren't supposed to be at this airport anyway, they can't get to the gate. They need to wait for a gate.
Right. Well, and
so now he's basically just getting beat in a car.
Well, and even if they get to the gate, like I know this wasn't even the airport they're going to, but there's always people who are quick to just rush out and clog up the hallway too. So now you're just going to get beat while people are walking by watching it.
Yeah. Oof. And then, okay, so
you gotta say thank you to the captain while you're getting punched in the head. No. Thank you, guys. Ow. Thank you.
Thank you. You good for nothing. Thank you.
Yeah, she even does it too. I told you. Thank you, guys.
You do such great work.
Yeah.
So look, this is insane. This next story I was not here for. I wasn't on this flight, but my buddy Al from Chicago said that I could tell it because he was like on the flight, and it's. I'm sure that it didn't have to get this crazy. It's basically just one big misunderstanding. But a guy was sitting in what I think he must have been like first class for it to transpire this way. So, yeah, I think he was in first class.
Because everyone was throwing money at each other?
No. You'll see. But basically, this guy on his flight was sitting in the front of the plane, if not first class, as close to. And this guy falls asleep during the flight. And while he's asleep, he's like out, right? So and I don't know if he has a condition or whatever, but he's so out that even when the craziness starts, he's still out. Like he's like, I don't know if he took a thing to sleep through the flight or something, but he's completely gone out of the picture.
Okay.
And the flight is about halfway there. So it's a flight from I think it was from Chicago to Portland. And so they're halfway there. So they've been in the air for 2.5 hours or something. And at one point, I don't know if they're trying to gain altitude. I don't know why, but the plane sort of tilts, upward. And as the plane is slightly tilting upward, a foot rolls through the aisle, just bouncing, rolling on its side, like a foot in a shoe rolls all the way to the back. And so everyone seems to see it.
Yeah. And it's
quiet at first.
And it's checking. Well, then they start checking with each other, did you fucking see a foot go by?
So everyone is calm at first because they're all to your point, did you see that foot? Everything, right? Then
I'm just not getting like air sickness or something, right? Like you,
Yeah, you saw a whole
you saw a foot, right?
in a shoe
You
roll
saw
by,
that, right?
So then, look, God is a genius, all right, because the comedic timing of this could not be pulled off any better. So as the foot's rolling, it's not until it hits the very back with a thud that people start screaming, right? So this lady in the back that was probably like next to the foot, and that's why she screamed. Because everyone else, it was just a moment, but for her, this is her life now.
Well, and you can maybe convince yourself that like, oh, maybe it's just a shoe, but when it's got the thud of a foot in it,
yeah,
that makes it more real. Oh no!
So,
it's got foot in it.
So then oh man, okay. So then. It plops next to her. She sees it, looks down, screams, right? So as she starts screaming, everyone else on the plane that saw it is like, yes, that must have been a foot. That was definitely a foot then. And so then they start screaming.
Well, if you don't mind me, I will join in the hysteria.
Right? So you know how the flight attendants usually, especially on like a fairly sized flight, they usually sit basically like in this back compartment where all the food and all this stuff is. So then the flight attendant comes forward from the back and is like looking for like everyone stay calm, what's happening, right? Steps on the foot. And then she looks down and goes, "Oh my God." And so then she's like, you can tell when someone's like trying to like compartmentalize all their feelings, but also be professional. So then she is like, is someone okay? Is someone missing a foot?
Yeah.
And so then like people kind of stop screaming now because now it's like, it's not like it's calmed down, but now at least someone is trying to take care of it.
Right.
And so like the woman that the foot was next to is still hysterical. But then like the flight attendant's like, is anyone like, is this a prank? Like what is this? This isn't funny. Like, is someone missing their foot? And then whole time this guy in the first class is still asleep. And
I'm guessing
I'm
guessing he's missing a foot.
So then as she's like making these same like proclamations of like, you know, like, cause now she's like in that space, I guess, where she's gone from like scared herself to like a little like mad. And so then as she's walking to the plane, just repeating herself, she's like, yeah, this isn't funny. There can be serious consequences for like doing stuff like this on a plane. Like this isn't a joke or anything.
Yeah.
Is someone missing a foot?
You can't travel with any fruit or vegetables or foots. You can't. We check that. You can't have it.
That is overhead luggage at best.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Do you have any foot or vegetables to declare?
So then, as she gets closer to the front, she ends up waking that guy up, and this guy goes, "My foot, my foot," which doesn't help.
No,
because
it just sounds like someone's foot fell off. Yeah.
Yeah, now people think his foot was taken from him or cut off or whatever. So now people start screaming again.
Oh, Jesus.
Then, and she still doesn't have the foot. She's just walking around looking to see if somebody's like snickering or something. Like she didn't pick up the foot or anything or the shoe. But like then she gets the guy and, you know, logical explanation. The dude has a prosthetic foot up to the ankle and for more room when he's flying and taking a nap, he takes it off. Mm-hmm. But in this particular instance, the way that the plane gained altitude, it went a little bit to the side and then up. So it perfectly dumped his foot into the aisle and then rolled it back.
I also don't think if I saw a foot land next to me, and it's like you would be able to tell it was prosthetic. I don't know if that I'd be like, ah! Like, I don't think that would be my first. I'd be like, oh fuck, a foot.
I mean,
like,
you're a reasonable person, but like all
fair.
type of manner of people fly. Like I feel like imagine
That's true.
Imagine if this is your first flight.
That's true.
This is your first flight ever.
That would be
and
great.
just feet are rolling next to you.
Does this happen on every one? Does this happen on every flight? Are there limbs rolling about?
Oh,
That's
man.
wild. And then he was also arrested once they landed. No.
Man.
for public nuisance. No.
Just imagine you're like you're like, my foot is like, sir, oh my God, sir, it's your foot. Are you okay? He's like, where's my foot? And now you have to be like, it pretty much rolled next to the bathroom. I'll go get it.
Yeah. Oh, it's back there. And he's like, oh, it's in coach now. Let them keep it. It's been sullied by their grubby fingers.
Imagine what you would think someone was doing though, if you, because you know how they have the curtain that doesn't do anything, the curtain between
Yeah.
first class and coach,
Right, yeah.
and then under that curtain just spits a foot.
Yeah, you'd start to think it's some sort of like, oh, like, I get it. The rich people get away with murder. We're in international airspace or some shit. So now this is where
Just sending body parts and carcasses for the
great.
rest of us.
It's where the Epsteins of the world get to just dismember people at the front of the plane. I get what the curtain's for now.
Champagne and dismemberments. Oh man. But yeah, I just, I want to experience flights again.
Now I want to know, is it are you specifically missing experiencing flights, or are you missing experiencing anything? Because I don't even particularly like flying that much. Hell yeah, I could go for a flight right now just because it would be something else.
I can't remember what country, but they're offering flights right now that just are, there's no destination. You're just in the air for 2 hours.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, I couldn't. I don't miss flying that much. I like for it to end up somewhere. I don't want to I don't want to just sit in an elevator for 3 hours. I'd rather, end up somewhere.
Imagine that's the flight you get a migraine on. The flight to nowhere that's not going to land for another hour.
Or what if you're doing that flight and you're like, there's a fucking baby on this one too? Why? Like what? It's already a weird idea to like have to fly the baby anywhere, but to go nowhere, you brought the baby?
That's so funny. I'm trying to sleep, and your baby is keeping me awake on my 2-hour flight back home from home.
Yeah. I do have some flight like credits still sitting because I was supposed to come to New York at the beginning of the year, right before. Remember, it was the week New York shut down in the initial pandemic stuff. But so I was going to come out and stay with you and our buddy Steve Malloy. I was going to come out for a bit, and then I remember you and Steve both called me being like, "Yeah, I don't know if now's a good time. It seems to be getting a little weird here with this whole coronavirus thing." And then it was like, I literally canceled. I was like, yeah, I'll push it back. And I delayed the flight. And then it was just like, oh, by the way, New York's closed. Don't come.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I chose that timing well, I guess.
Yeah, this would actually be a very different podcast if you had come, because you probably would have had to stay. Probably would have been like living here the entire time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we would just be recording in person then. We wouldn't have to deal with with FaceTimes and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, but I think I still have those credits through next year, or into like when I canceled it. So, if that ever becomes an option again, maybe I'll use it. But
yeah,
fuck, it keeps not looking that way. And it's embarrassing that Iowa, a very spread out state where it's very easy to not be near people, we're like one of the worst places in the nation right now. So I don't know. Like, it's the point of having all these cornfields between us if we're all just going to get together and touch mouths. Like, I don't I don't understand it.
You know, that's what the Midwest gets for being so friendly.
Yeah, it shouldn't be so easy to find each other in all these corn mazes that we have. But I don't know.
Man, I also I think for me too, the movies when I was flying were like I would try a movie that I would never watch on land in a flight.
Oh yeah. Well, it's for me. It was always like, oh, if I fall asleep during this, that's fine, because I don't normally do that. If I'm watching something, at home, it's usually something I want to watch. But in a plane where it's like, well, I'm literally just passing time, so I don't really give a shit what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to. I am conscious though, of just like, has this one got like sex in it? Because there's like people next to me, and like it's on the back of the seat. You're always.
Yeah, So my thing is, especially on flights to Australia, which I've had a few now, and so those are long flights there, and
how long
sometimes
is that
shorter
flight?
flights back.
How is that from
like 16 hours?
Jesus. See, I've
like
never
that.
done a flight like that, and
Yeah, I think it's 16 from New York. It's actually only like, I think it's only like 12 from LA.
oh, is it? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Because I always thought it was like Australia to LA was like one of the longest flights, but I suppose that makes sense.
And when I fly to Australia, I get work done with movies.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oof. I watched Cabaret for the first time and the entire Pitch Perfect trilogy. I got off that plane singing.
Yeah, man. Wow. What an interesting marathon to have.
I mean, you also only have as many options as they give you unless you brought your own iPad.
For sure.
So like,
yeah.
I think Qantas just had a deal with somebody.
With Anna Kendrick.
I'm gonna be right back just because my computer's about to die. So I'm gonna.
Motherfucker! I've told you to plug it in before we start. It's annoying to edit around. He always does. Yeah, I'm not gonna cut it out. This time I'm not gonna cut it out. I'm gonna let you guys know what I deal with. He'll just suddenly, in the middle of a thought, we'll be talking about something, and he'll just go. He's got to do something else. He's got to plug something in. He's got to take a call. He's got to go grab something. He's foolish. He's foolish, and he's inconsiderate. And he's putting his headphones back on right now. Hey, buddy. I wasn't talking about you.
You're a monster. I don't know what you were saying, but I can tell you for a fact it wasn't true.
I didn't say anything, man. I was just waiting patiently. Just waiting patiently for you to plug your computer in the middle of us talking.
Oh, man.
What? Say something. What?
It's just, it's one of those things where... Oh man, I wonder. I wondered about a lot of people if I met them at different times, if we would have the relationship that we have, and
Oh, you say? Are you thinking if we met now we wouldn't be friends?
no, I don't think that. I actually wonder. I think there are certain people you can meet too early though. Like I can tell you that when I was in college, some of my best friends to this day, right? Mm-hmm. This still cracks me up. So 3 of my best friends from college, when I met each of them, I did not like them. I did not like them at all. I it was more than I just didn't like them. I weirdly had a bone to pick with them. And then we got over it, and 2 of us joined the same fraternity, and then the third one, we all, I want there to come a day where we can all just chill again because, we all live in different places now. Like two of them are still in Louisiana, and one I think he's in Mississippi now or something, and I'm in New York, but it's crazy. And we've had a conversation about it. Like one of my really good friends, I remember when initially when I saw him, we had a class together. That's how we met.
Yeah.
and it was like this orientation class or something. And I said, hey, because, just trying to be friendly, make friends. I don't know anybody. He didn't seem to know anybody. And like, he looked at me, and then he just turned away. And in my head, I was like,
Jeez.
this bastard, I can't believe the nerve of a person to look at you and not acknowledge, because it was just a deadpan face. And then when he tells it from his perspective, he had been having a terrible day, right? Yeah. He had been having the worst day, and he was darting around looking for, I think somebody was supposed to bring him something. Like basically I don't know if he hadn't prepared to basically come to college that day. Like, it was because, we're all from Louisiana.
Right, yeah.
So we all had varying degrees of travel, and some people only had to travel for like an hour. So I think that he was looking for someone that was supposed to bring him something, and he was just looking around, darting around, right? So then when I said, hey, it was in the middle of him looking around. So he's like, I didn't even hear you. I'm just in a panic and I'm sweating. And then I look, and as I'm panning with my eyes across the room, you say, hey, and I just turn back around. And then we didn't even get to strike up that conversation for a week, and I hated that dude. I was like, what a monster. Because in that moment, he reaffirmed every fear that you have when you're trying to meet new people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You'd be like, oh, this is why you don't introduce yourself. This is why you don't put yourself out there.
Then he apologized profusely. He was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was looking around for people to make friends with, too. And then we ended up becoming friends a week later, right. And I was like, this dude's the best. Then the other dude, we had some sort of weird misunderstanding when we met, where we got in an argument, but then we worked it out, and then ended up going to the cafeteria together and having lunch together, and then our friendship sort of started there. But then the third dude is Donovan, who I've mentioned multiple times in multiple scenarios.
I want to meet him. I've heard a lot of stories about Donovan, but he's one of your friends I haven't met yet.
Dude, you'll love Donovan.
Is there a dog too?
Donovan, I was trying to. Yeah. Oh, now there's a dog. Yeah. I guess the dog just heard that Biden won. It's losing it. I swear, between burnouts and dogs, we're gonna get this podcast recorded.
Yeah. No, I'm getting a lot of fun Foley from your end of the recording.
It's what it's like to be in Brooklyn.
Yeah, but I
just probably a dog chasing the cars.
The dog's winning the street race.
Yeah. So then, when it came to Tyler, who was the one of my first friends that I made, he was the one that we had lunch together and everything. And then I would go over to Tyler's room, and he was roommates with Donovan, right? And so Donovan and I did not vibe at first. It was really interesting how it played out, because in my head, Donovan was just this, I just projected so much onto him, because Donovan is so many things that I am not. So I was just this is a big dude thinks he's so cool and stuff, all this stuff like this, right? Stuff that didn't even make sense. And then he thought that I was crazy. He thought I was legit out of my mind.
Right.
And then because he also hung out with Tyler, because Tyler was his roommate, I would just be talking or telling stories the way that we talk, and I will tell you a story, and he'll be like, this guy's, something's wrong with him. Something's not right. I don't like it. And this is the thing that turned him off of me. I think I could be wrong. I'll have to ask him about this, or maybe he'll text me how wrong I am if he listens to this episode.
Yeah, does he listen? How good of a friend is he?
Yeah, he listens.
Support the show. Yeah. I'm just creating drama for no reason.
Basically, there was a day where I was hanging out with Tyler and Donovan and everything, and earlier that day, I had seen, which is I've never seen it since. It's crazy. I had seen two squirrels like running after each other, and they looked like they were about to like mate. Like it looked like some sort of like mating thing because they weren't fighting over anything, but they were like running around each other and then rubbing up together and then running up the tree and everything. Yeah. And then just when it seemed like those squirrels were about to get busy, an eagle swooped in and snatched one of them.
The ultimate cock block.
Yeah. And so, and the squirrel was fighting, and it drew like a small crowd. Like there were 10 of us who like were like, oh my gosh.
Imagine as a human, you're about to fuck someone. You and another human, you guys are in the bedroom and you're ready to get busy, and then suddenly she gets killed by a tiger.
That doesn't care about you.
Doesn't care about you at all.
The tiger just came and went for her. So
it's gonna take a few seconds. You're just gonna go, whoa.
Because I'm younger and I'm not as self-aware and probably a list of other things, I didn't tell that story the way I just told it to you.
Right.
I told it from the shell-shocked perspective of someone who just saw it happen.
Okay. So
then when I came to the lunch table, I sat down and I was like, Tyler or somebody was like, hey, man, how's your day going? What you been up to? Like, how are classes? And instead of addressing any of those questions, I just went, yeah, I saw 2 squirrels trying to bang, and then an eagle came out of nowhere. And I'm pretty sure one of them's dead. And the lunch table was silent. And I'm not self-aware enough to know that I've just like kind of ruined everyone's day. And so I'm just sitting there with like the reality of like what I witnessed. And Donovan is like, this guy, there's something wrong. I don't like it. This is bad.
No.
I'm trying to tell y'all now.
If that was the only view I had of you, yeah, like that's how you write a character in a TV show that you want to have be off-putting. Is you have them walk up to a table and just rattle off some random not fun things.
I definitely learned how to clear a room before I learned how to work a room. So
and this is my that's good. This is my friend Josh. Did you know goat testicles are called Rocky Mountain oysters? Okay, well.
Because I also wasn't looking at anyone when I said it, so it just made it that much more like terrifying, creepy, whatever. So then Dom was like very put off of me, and then
yeah, you got that. Josh, you walk around with that school shooter vibe. That's what you got going.
And then I made it worse because he like, I don't know. I think he felt like because he thought I was crazy, he needed to be a little bit more like. I'm trying to think of how to put it. I think he felt like he needed to show he wasn't scared of me, which is already not necessary because he's like 6'4". Yeah, he's a big dude. I'm not. I think he thought I would bite him or something because I'm not a big man. So like, I don't know why you would be scared of me.
Well, someone who walks in with that energy though is probably into swords.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you gotta watch that kid.
Yeah. So then basically there was one more instance where I did a crazy thing and then he matched me horribly. So I was alone with Donovan in Tyler's room because we were both waiting for Tyler to get back so we could go to a concert.
Was it like a dorm?
And yeah, it's a dorm, right? So
because you were there was an apartment, but you guys decided to sit in his bedroom.
No. It's a dorm.
I'm just helping paint the scene, buddy. You're good.
Yeah. And so basically, I had shown up to Tyler's dorm room, and then Donovan answered, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Tyler's not here yet, but I guess if you want to wait for him, are you going to the concert too?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, I guess if you want to wait for him, you can wait here. And so I sat down and waited, and then he was sitting on the bed. And then I don't know if he said something or he did something where I was like, I'm not going to let this dude intimidate me. All right? I'm going to do something crazy to show him I'm not scared of him.
Okay, so this one you're doing on purpose.
This one I did on purpose.
The previous crazy was just you. This one, though, is an intent to be crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So then Kanye's 808 Heartbreak had just come out, right? And I worked at the college radio station, so I got an early copy of it.
Okay.
So as I was listening to it, I played it loud and I sang this one lyric because I was like, all right, this will really get him, right? And it's the thing from Say You Will where Kanye's like, when I grab your neck, I touch your soul, right? And so then I like just sort of low sang that. And David just stared at me, and I stared at him, and I was like, I felt like I should have said something, like I should have said, like, "What's up?" Yeah, but like I didn't say anything. Then he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this little dude intimidate me. All right, I'm tired of his crazy ass, and I'm gonna show him I'm not scared of him. So then we both get a text from Tyler, like, "Hey, I'm not coming back to the room. Just meet me there." So then we head out together. As we go to head out together, he's locking the door room, like he's locking his door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ow. And he turns around, he's like, what happened? I was like, oh, I think a mosquito bit me or something, because like I'm really itchy all of a sudden and everything. And he just looks around, eyes wide, darting, and then sees the mosquito and goes, "You hurt my friend." And then he punched the wall as hard as he could. And then when he moved his hand, there was a dead mosquito on the wall. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't want these problems. That's terrifying. And now, months later, when we're actually all friends, like me, Eric, Tyler, Donovan, we had this conversation where I explained why I did what I did, and he explained why he did what he did. Yeah. And it all made sense after that.
No, it didn't. I can tell you right now, it did not make sense.
It did. It wrapped it up with a bow. The story is perfect.
Absolutely does not. It does not wrap it up.
It landed perfectly, like a plane.
Well, they do most of the time. So wait, then after he punched the mosquito, then you were... Because all you said was, "Oh, I don't want these problems." Were you guys like friends after that, or do you just decide like, "Oh, I'm not going to try to intimidate him with Kanye lyrics anymore"? I'm going to give him some distance. Like you just crazied each other into friendship. This is two people enacting Stockholm syndrome on each other. Like you guys held each other hostage with your separate crazy. Yeah. And then I guess we're friends now.
Yeah, because I feel like we still weren't friends for maybe one more week after that happened, because I was like, when he punched the wall, I was like, oh wow, that was extra. Oh geez, because it shook the wall. Like he's a big man, and then when he moved his hand and the mosquito was there, I was like, because he didn't even say like got it or anything, like he didn't even seem excited. He was just like he punched the mosquito and then was like, let's go. And so then I was like, yeah, this dude is crazy. I don't want to have anything. This is terrifying. And then maybe after a week or so, when we were all hanging out and were realizing we were becoming friends, like we were realizing that we meet up after classes and we spend most of our evenings hanging out, that we were like, you know what's crazy is that when we met, I actually didn't like you for this reason.
You know what's crazy? Everything we fucking did. Wasn't that crazy? That thing you did with the Kanye lyrics, that was weird, super weird, really weird thing to do to another human.
Yeah, but I had explained why I did it, which was like, look, I couldn't just have you being taller than me and like running around here.
I know it'll sort out this height difference. Some Kanye West. That'll really sort out the height differential. Problem solved. Because I'm going to say, when I grab your neck, I grab your soul, or whatever. That'll knock him down about 6 inches. That'll do it.
Yeah, because crazy has no height.
Exactly. Oh man. Well, I'm glad you guys made it. I'm
Yeah.
speechless. I that is.
I'm glad that we made it. I'm glad the neighborhood is happy. I'm glad that, I'm glad they're still doing burnouts. They still have gas money.
Yeah, I heard that going again.
Biden Harris 2020. We out here.
Jesus Christ. We've been getting a lot of emails and like reviews lately about people just saying they appreciate my genuine concern for your stories. I'm excited when we start putting up the video elements that people can see me in real time struggle with some of these stories. Because all I could do for a minute there was just cover my face. Well, that's interesting. Did you ever? I feel like you and I just became friends very quickly. We were kind of fast friends. Did you ever have any moment where you thought you'd have to intimidate me? Is there ever a moment you're like, I maybe gotta bring this guy down a peg with some dark lyrics?
No, you only got like 2-3 inches on me, so I think we were Gucci.
Fair enough.
I feel like that's a primal thing. It's like I have to show this person I'm not scared of them, and I'm just gonna be crazy.
No. I mean, you're right to an extent, but just not the way you're saying it. Because I do get it when you meet people like that, and you do want to let them know like you're not going to take their shit or whatever. But like, I don't. It's just your tactic that's really throwing me off. Is they just like, I'm going to put on this song and I'm going to say this one. I'm going to say this one lyric. I'm gonna mutter a threatening song lyric to get his attention. As I'm sitting in his dorm, I'm going to go to his dorm room where he lives and feels safe, and I'm going to mutter a threatening song lyric to this guy just to let him know I'm not scared of him.
So I should also point out that he actually hadn't done anything expressly intimidating until the mosquito thing, which is kind of after 2 of my things. So, in retrospect, he didn't do anything wrong.
No, you came out swinging with Crazy Bud.
The first Crazy was completely unintentional. I wasn't.
That first one. That was.
I saw the thing and then I was shooken up by it.
Yeah, that was. You just had squirrel sex PTSD, so that's what happened there. The second
it was like
one,
watching the documentary without David Attenborough. It's like nothing was cute about it, nothing was cool about it.
It was
just sex and murder.
It was just nature at its most primal. Someone's gonna get fucked and someone's gonna get got. That's how it goes in these nature docs, baby. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. I don't know how much more time we want to spend on this, but walk me through just again. What caused you to do the Kanye thing? What made you
I don't remember if he had said or done anything extra. I think I just felt his vibe off of that cafeteria moment, and then I was like,
how separate were these instances? How
like days. Like days.
Okay. So you walked into his dorm being like, he's still weird about the squirrel thing. I better threaten him. Oh, maybe I came off too strong before. I know it'll fix it.
This is all I'm saying. All right, I'm just. Jeez. Okay. Look, this is.
I'm sorry. You broke me with this one, bud. I don't know. It is.
I was
much like those guys racing around your block. This is just running circles in my brain, and it is continually fascinating me.
So look, I was coming from a place where I wasn't going to his dorm room in my mind. I was going to meet Tyler to go do something with Tyler that I didn't even know Donovan was also going to do.
Right.
So then in my mind, I'm not just sitting in his room to intimidate him. I'm sitting in his room and I'm like, all right, if we're going to keep both being around Tyler, then like
we must fight for his love.
Yeah, I mean, I can't have you sort of like treat me like I'm crazy. So let me be so crazy you won't say anything.
Right.
And that's what I did. And then when he punched that mosquito, the fact that he actually killed that mosquito was like, I still think about that.
Yeah.
Because that's accuracy on top of like just good hand-eye coordination and strength, and like he hit it hard. Like he hit it too hard.
He also said to the mosquito, "You hurt my friend." So
yeah.
Now I'm imagining a situation where Donovan had decided you were his friend and he was going to protect you. And then you showed up and were like, well, grabbed your neck. Grabbed your soul.
I didn't think about that till afterwards, though. Like it isn't until retrospect sets in that you realize how long you've actually been friends with your friends.
Right.
Like I with you and I feel like we became fast friends. Like I feel like within 2 weeks I was like going over to your place and like Maddie knew me and we would like go to Mike's together. You know what I mean?
Maddie's my dog.
But then Maddie's his dog. I
don't know. I just felt like saying that because you just said Maddie knew me. Like,
no, I know, but because I almost went like I was petting Maddie, and then I just said Maddie knew me, so it was funny that you were then like, guys, Maddie's a dog, just because Josh doesn't know how to talk to people. But yeah, like, so I think that with Donovan, Eric, Tyler, we all became faster friends than it felt like in that year. But looking back to like the freshman year of college now, I'm like, oh, we were friends in no time. But those moments, like just when you're in it, those moments feel like an eternity. It's like you're at this new place and you don't know anybody.
The moments feel longer too when you take the time to just openly threaten each other. That really elongates. That elongates a moment. When you turn just a simple hangout into fucking high noon, it really it makes things feel longer. I will say that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah. So, wow.
Like I said, Donovan didn't do anything wrong.
Listen, bud, my reactions have not been about what Donovan did. That is not what I've been hung up on. I am casting no stones at Donovan. I've been completely hung up on the insane man muttering threatening lyrics at somebody just because he's getting a vibe that he thinks he needs to pick a moment to be quietly crazy and threatening. That's what I'm hung up on. It's not Donovan. I honestly feel like Donovan gave you too many chances.
Man.
Well, we're over an hour. Do you? God, you're fucking weird. I love you to death. You're so fucking weird. Oh, you're great. Okay. Whew.
If there wasn't a copyright on it, I'd sing the lyric right now. But, I don't want those problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Kanye's not president now, so he's got time to track people down. So.
Thank you so much for listening to The Josh Johnson Show. I am so happy to be doing this podcast with one of my best friends that I became fast friends with, and not, in a weird battle over time and lyrics for us to figure each other out. If you're looking for more of us, you can find me on social, on Instagram at Josh Johnson Comedy, on Twitter at Josh Johnson, at Facebook at Josh J Comedy, and YouTube at Josh Johnson Comedy, where very soon we are going to start posting videos of this very podcast. If you want to see what our faces look like while we're reacting to each other's stories, then that'll be where you can do it. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can find me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get a hold of us at the show, you want to send us an email, you can do that at joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. You can send us a question or just a review, drop us a line. We're covering those right now in what we're calling our Monday mailbag. We're testing that out. We'll see, but we're going to handle those there for a little bit. And because it's been fun giving them a little more time, a little more space to breathe and not worrying about, right? Don't you think so?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for that enthusiastic endorsement.
I mean, this is how I say everything. This is why no one believes that I have feelings.
But you can get a hold of us there. And, if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, a 5-star review, if you feel so kind, and leave us a review there. We like to cover those. And if you could follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, or if you could just get some friends to listen to it, go to your friend's dorm room, put on this podcast, just like say some weird, vague, threatening shit. Do whatever you can. Just spread, help share the show, with your friends.
Was that a dig at me?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. No, we're good. It's a mosquito there. Don't fuck with me.
You seen your headline on The Daily Show. You see them all over YouTube. I want you to put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I do my best to be fair with people. I'm not perfect at it, but I try, And sometimes the fairest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. Like, so how many people do you know in your life who are suffering because the people around them let them live in delusion? You know what I mean? I've had to sit friends down and be like, listen, you're going to have to date who like you. There's no way around it. So sometimes the nicest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. And if I'm being honest, I feel like Donald Trump might be having one of the worst weeks of his life. This is very, very bad. I mean, this is oof. I've watched people have bad weeks. I've watched people have terrible weeks. There was a dude from my hometown that would ride his bike everywhere, and he got hit by a car and struck by lightning in the same week. He survived both, but wow. Because he was riding his bike, and a lot of cities in the South we don't have enough sidewalk. We really abandoned the entire idea of someone might want to get somewhere in not a car. So he was riding his bike, but there's no sidewalk, and there's also no like bike lane where I grew up. And so there's just like, if you take the service road, it's just ditch and then ditch and then ditch and then ditch. And so then he over here BMXing the ditches going. But then when you do that, you do appear out of nowhere, because the ditch is deep enough where you know you ride, and then there's a little bit of road, then there's another ditch, and then you pick up another ditch, right? You know that's how you get there. But anyone making a left turn on the service road just sees someone on a bike coming truly out of nowhere and sends them flying, right? So he got hit by a car, and the car was turning, so this means it was slower than it could have been, and turned into him. He flipped over everything, bam, 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 landed in the ditch, so at least landed on some grass, right? And then he was all banged up, and then he had to walk the rest of the week until he get his bike fixed, until he healed up a little bit. He had to, walk around town. He was walking around town, and there was a thunderstorm. Which normally, here's the thing, this is like a big Southern tradition, right? Is that when it's lightning outside, nobody do anything. We turn off the TV. Turn off every appliance. Unplug it. Turn off everything. And don't move. I know you inside, don't move. That lightning see you moving from outside, it might want to come visit, all right? Don't move, stop. Be still where you are unless you are moving to unplug something or turn something off. In fact, lay down. Lay down on the ground so you can be grounded. And sometimes you'll tell people, like someone will like not be from the South, and they'll come over and it'll be a lightning storm, and you just start turning everything off, and they're like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, okay, you can play with the Lord if you want to, but... I like not being lit up, okay? I'm not even using this blender right now anyway. What point is there for this house to get struck by lightning and then the blender work real good for 6 seconds and then never work again? And so he was walking out in the thunderstorm, and to be fair to him, it was like, what was he supposed to do? I guess lay down. But like, what was he really supposed to do? So he's walking, making his way and everything, and up off the ditch, and now he can watch for cars a little easier because he's on foot and stuff, ditch and everything. And then the lightning hit him, right? And it hit okay, the way, I never been hit by lightning before, but the way that it hit him, he did, this is what I'm told, I was not there, but the way the lightning hit him, he did bounce. And I don't know, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that could happen, because it didn't seem like being struck by lightning was a buoyancy thing. But yeah, like he basically got hit by lightning, and then he didn't bounce high. It's not like he bounced like a basketball up, but he basically, lightning, boom, and then he went up a little, and then he hit the ground all hot. Charred. And then he had like a scar along the body and everything because struck by lightning. It survived. I've never seen personally somebody get hit by lightning and then get up. I wouldn't. If I got struck by lightning, I'd be like, y'all, you know what? You know, the Lord knows I need a nap. I'm gonna take a nap. Works in mysterious ways. Sometimes you just need to sit down somewhere. What makes you sit down anywhere, like being struck by lightning? And so, you know, boom, boom, boom. And that was trying to get places next 2 days was very rough because he was already banged up from the car and he was crispy. And he still wasn't having the week that Donald Trump is having. This is very bad. All right, in case you're not familiar, Donald Trump, the president was, you know, like minding his business, trying to enjoy the government shutdown ending, right? Which should be, that should be a good day. It should, you know, you shut down ended and everything. And so, you know, he got signed the thing and he has everybody in the office and stuff. And the night before, looks like the House Dems released these 3 emails that were from Epstein's estate. So it's different. It's different from like if something was subpoenaed and stuff. It's not like something that was like sealed and then is being released. This, I think, works differently where it's just from the estate, right? And so then they release these 3 emails, and the 3 emails are not, they're not Epstein talking to Trump. They're Epstein talking about Trump. And on what should have been a good day. All right, the best way I could describe what happened is I went to a birthday party, and at this birthday party were a bunch of different friend groups. Like, I shouldn't say a bunch, like 2 friend groups. But I don't know if you've ever had this in your life where you have this person who you're friends with who has a bunch of friends, and then you have this other person you're friends with who has a bunch of friends. But it's enough people in general, whether it's because of school or because of work or whatever, it's enough people in general that the people that know them, eventually there's an overlap of people who are friends with this person, but hate each other. Like they hate each other, or they hate the other friend, but they're part of this friend group, hate the other friend, right? So I was at one of those birthday parties. I was at a birthday party for someone, and the person who hated him the most came to the birthday party. They came because they were invited by our least thoughtful friend, and so having no awareness, least thoughtful friend invites them to the surprise party. And so then we're all like, hey, surprise. And they see this person. They were surprised. And then everybody's waiting for something to pop off and nothing ever did because they hate each other. Like, ooh, they hate. Is under. It's below the heart. It's behind and underneath. They hate from like the diaphragm, I think. They hate so much. They hate him. Anyway, so they hated the birthday boy a lot. Like, ooh, I wish I hate you. And so then they bring out the cake, and the cake got like one of the candles for every year, and they getting up there, so it's enough candles to light up a room. And put it down, birthday boy blows them all out. They cut up the cake. We're all chatting and everything in different rooms and stuff. And then the one that hate him, right, leans over to me and he's like, before everybody, was like singing happy birthday and everything, before, they like brought out the cake and stuff, I farted in the cake. In my head, I was like, in? In just assumes a level of power that normally you'd say on, but whatever. And that is what the House Dems did to Trump on the day. It's supposed to be, it's not his birthday, but it's supposed to be a good day. And shutdown is ending. It's supposed to be good for, it's supposed to be good day. And so then, you see in these emails, they're just not good at all. And it's not like, this is why I would be mad if I was Trump. Because it's not even Epstein talking to Trump, it's Epstein talking to somebody else about Trump, right? So it's the equivalent of like, you at home, and your friend did something, got caught, and then your friend comes to your house with the police. Your friend come to your house with the police and go, hey, come on out, they got us. What do you mean us? I was at home. Because the email doesn't even like one of the main ones that was making the rounds on the news doesn't even like implicate Trump in anything. It just implies that Trump knows something that Epstein knows about what Epstein did that is very bad. That he hasn't told any authorities, but he knows is bad, right? Which doesn't look good. It's just one of those like, this is bad for everybody. Is what ooh. And I don't know how we got to this place, because Epstein saga has so many episodes. There is a Marvel universe of Epstein updates. It's never over, it just goes deeper. And then, this is what the Dems do. Then the Republicans come out, and Republicans are like, all right, but why were the Dems sitting on these emails? Why are they releasing them now? That's pretty convenient, right? Like, why are you farting in his birthday cake? And then, I suppose, to try to show transparency, to try to be like, we're actually the party that wants to get to the bottom of the Epstein thing the most, the Republicans release 20,000 pages. 20,000 pages. I don't know if I've sent 20,000 emails in my life. 20,000 like emails, these pages of Epstein talking about everything, talking about Trump, talking about like Larry Summers, talking about like, it's so much. It's so much it makes you wonder, whoa, why 20,000? It almost felt like they were like, you know what? Release 20,000, people don't read. They won't read it. It turns out people are pretty interested in reading. It turns out if it's an interesting enough novel, people will dive deep into the reading. Because we're in a stressful time where it doesn't feel like things fully matter. Like there used to, back in the day, there was shame. So like, like if you were in public office, if you were in public office and you did something or somebody accused you of something, or like sometimes it didn't even have to be anything. There was enough shame that you would resign or you would retire from politics in shame because we had shame. Like people had more shame, right? And I don't know, I'm not gonna blame all of it on like social or influencer culture or anything like that, but we have more people than ever that we know about in our own little pockets, right? We have more people than ever that are involved in scandals. It used to be if you were in a scandal, you were either a politician or like a Hollywood celebrity. Those were really the only people who could even get into a scandal. But now you could just be an influencer, and like even more specific, you could be like a makeup influencer and you get into a scandal that only affects the people who watch you, right? And so now we're watching more people than ever try to navigate having a scandal, which has also made scandals more normal. And so now instead of looking to how we would all expect someone in a scandal to react, we look at how the person reacts. So you go back in time, like all Nixon did was listen to some tapes. Like when you really sum it up, it's like, yes, the spying and the blah, blah, blah. But it's like Nixon himself, like just Nixon, listened to a garbled tape that was of no consequence, really. It was like, that man resigned over. And I know he did plenty other stuff besides. I'm just saying, like, the thing that when we think of Watergate, when people even really think about what Watergate is or what it meant to people, it was the scandal of like the government spying and like how the opposition treats each other and everything like that. But when you really look at Nixon, I'm not taking up for Nixon at all. I'm literally just saying that when I watched the documentary, it sounded like he resigned over. And he left. And now there's like a scam. There's something happening. And obviously everybody puts it on Trump specifically, and he is our version of it, but it was happening all around the West before this. Like it was bubbling up. Everything does not revolve around this man. There was something that was happening in lots of different places where politicians were realizing how much they could stress test the trust of the general public, right? Like you even look at Canada with Rob Ford. Rob Ford was the mayor of Toronto. And Rob Ford smoked crack on camera. This man did just smoke crack on camera. He smoked more crack than I've ever seen anybody smoke on camera. He smoked crack on camera so many times that I think he is the most crack smoke taped person of all time. Lots of crack. And he'd get drunk too. And it would be like, who set up the camera? I guess Rob Ford. Like he just... It was scandal after scandal after scandal. It was stuff he would say. It was videos that would come out. It was stuff that he would say. It was videos that come out. It would just be over and over and over again. He wasn't like turning some new leaf. He was just one of the first people that when they came to him, they were like, were you smoking crack? And he was like, I was not smoking crack. Then in the next video it came out, he's like, oh, it's delicious. Like it, I can't tell you how much crack he was smoking. And just never seen somebody smoke crack like it was candy, right? And like, This is okay. Look, maybe this may be wrong of me, but when I was watching the documentary about him smoking the crack and stuff like that, before they revealed that there were tons of crack tapes, like a ridiculous amount of crack tapes. I don't know if anybody watched all the crack tapes. He has that many, right? But before they revealed that he actually did smoke crack, when he was denied smoking the crack, I was like, I don't know if this dude did this. Like, sure, he's like brash, and sure, he's like, you know, this like wild character. I definitely believe he was getting drunk, and they even showed a video of him drunk. I didn't believe the crack because I had never seen. Do you know what I mean? I had just never seen such a heavy set crackhead. You know what I mean? Like he would. I'm just saying, like, he had that plausible deniability from me, because every crackhead I'd ever seen was petite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all right, fine, whatever. some of y'all being weird, but you know you've never seen somebody smoke crack and have a cheeseburger. That is not something that happens within the same 5 minutes. No one has crack for dessert. And he was one of the first people. Like, he was actually a little bit pre-Trump, right? People forget about him, but he was. And they came to him, and they were like, aren't you going to resign in shame? And he was like, I don't even really feel any shame. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm just going to stay. And we still, as a people, in every country this happens in, don't know what to do with that. We don't. Like, that happens, and we're like, oh, I thought you would have some shame. And Rob was like, no, I don't have any shame. I have crack, and it's delicious. Truly, when I tell you, sometimes I can even feel the shame creeping up, but like, shame and crack never meet. They're never in the same room together. So if you feel any of that shame creeping in and you hit a little crack, shame seems to disappear. You know? Because now you even look at like with like influencer culture, there used to be this thing, like let's take it all the way back, right? Let's take it all the way back to maybe like the 80s or 90s, where if a tape came out of you in some sort of lewd act, it was immediately shameful. It was like immediately the thought process around it. I'm not even saying whether or not that's right. I'm saying that's what people did. Okay? And now you fast forward to today, and something will leak. Maybe someone's nudes leak, maybe a video of them leaks, and then we wait for the person to react to know if we feel shame for them. Or if we try to shame them. It's all based off their reaction. We look to them to know what to do next. So if something happens, if a tape goes out, if some nudes leak or something like that, and the person's like, oh, yeah, that's what I look like. We're like, oh, okay, all right, wow. And not across the board. I'm just saying that becomes the sort of general understanding. But then if that person's reaction is, oh no, you saw me naked. We'll be like, oh, we did. Shame. And so then these 20,000 pages come out, and wow, also not good. Not good at all. Because it's not just Epstein implicating Trump in like other meetings, other times they hung out, other things, other. It's also like Epstein talking real nasty and bad about Trump. Now this is, look, some of it is before their breakup, and then some of it is after. And there have been plenty of people that said, hey, listen, this guy who is no longer friends with Trump, we're talking bad about Trump after they're not friends anymore. What's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? Why should that even matter? And it's like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but if he's talking about anything that happened while they were still friends, while they hung out to somebody, that does mean something. That does matter, you know? And he was talking wild about Trump, even saying stuff like, I'm the only one that could bring him down with the stuff I know and everything. And look, this is just me. Just me, all right? I'm not friends with Epstein. Glad I wasn't, okay? But I'm just saying, if it was me and Epstein was talking this reckless about me over email with all these people, I'd probably be very upset. I'd get very mad. I'd probably get mad enough to kill him in his cell. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm saying that's what I might do. Me. I'm saying that's what I might do, but I'm petty. You know? I didn't let you stay in my house and everything. You talking crazy about me in these emails. No. You gotta go. There's gonna be a missing minute in the video. Because that's also what's wild. That's where we left off, you know? Remember where we left off where there was they released the video and it was hours long and it was missing the most important minute it could miss? Yeah. Remember when there were like no files? Remember when Pam Bondi was like, look, there's no files. Don't listen to your memory. I know what I said before, but what I'm saying now is more important. There's no files. Isn't it more convincing that there's no files than there's files? And we were all like, what is she talking about? It's bad. It's bad. You know what's so crazy to me? You know what's so crazy to me about a lot of this stuff is that this is Trump we're talking about. Trump was on trial in New York for like, I don't know, some like real estate fraud or whatever. And this dude, it wasn't looking good. It was looking like he might, get found guilty. And the judge had to give him a bunch of warnings. The judge is over here like, you need to stop talking about this case to the media. You need to stop talking about me to the media. Stop. I don't know what else he was doing. Like, stop doxing the stenographer. What? Like, stop. Just stop. You're talking too much. Nobody that's a defendant in any of my other cases I oversee talks as much as you to the media about this case. You gotta stop. And then Trump for his part, Trump, even to his credit, I'd say, was like in danger of being held in contempt almost the entirety of the case. And the judge like, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. I'm gonna do it. And Trump was like, do it. No, do it. I want to be in contempt. I bet you won't do it. And then he would tell him, don't go out there and talk to the media about this case. And then Trump would walk up to the first person with a camera he saw. It could be a camera phone. He just walk up. And he was like, judge doesn't know what he's doing. He crooked. Everybody crooked. I'm going to win in 2020. But just nonstop. You got to remember, that's the guy that we're talking about. But that's not how he's acting about this. Which means it must be bad. This dude was in court and wasn't scared. But this man, they reached out to all of these Republicans to try to help stop this petition, right? There's this petition to release the Epstein files in the House, and that petition has to go to the Senate. The petition, but he's trying to get it stopped. He's trying to get it killed, like now. Want it killed now, right? Gotta kill it. And so he's reaching out to people who have even been vocal about the fact that they will be on board with signing the petition. Reaches out to like Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is the thing. Look, at the end of the day, maybe he did reach out because he just wanted to talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. If you could put all politics aside in your mind and you hop on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it will be interesting. You know what I mean? You'll be like, I didn't know about the lasers, Marjorie. If I was ever on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know what I would do to keep her on the phone? I would every couple sentences, I'd just go, oh! Let her think she was blowing my mind. Throw in a really every now and again. Calls Marjorie Taylor Greene. Apparently none of them are having it. Apparently. Lauren Boebert even was pressured so much to not sign a petition, she was like, it must be worse than I thought. Y'all barely talk to me. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she didn't put her foot down. Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually really turned on Trump so much that it got Trump's attention so much that Trump has turned on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're beefing right now, which is hilarious. That is so funny. The idea that Trump is over here being like, y'all know Marjorie Taylor, he's over here
calling her a lunatic, calling her crazy, all this stuff like that. Like, the fact that Trump is over here like, Marjorie Taylor Greene crazy, and we're like, we know. That's wild. For what other revelations you got? Did you know Hannibal Lecter wasn't a good guy? I'll tell you as well why Trump's not having a good week. You know, there's been interviews, and there's just been a general discontent with some of what's happening in the country. You know, Trump ran on America First. It's supposed to be Americans first. It's supposed to be America first. But what is happening? And what place is America in? It doesn't seem like there's a one in front of it. You know? Because people point to, you know, how ruthless in the shutdown things got with Snap, how people are treated in the country, how America First just sort of feels like a slogan. It doesn't feel like it's really in the agenda. It doesn't feel like what's really happening and everything. And so then you see members of the MAGA movement turning on Trump. And maybe not fully and maybe not forever, but it is like happening. There's a swell of discontent with what he's been doing, how the country is right now. There were so many things that are supposed to be fixed on day one. You can talk as much as you want. He's very good at campaigning. He's not good at governing. Like he's so good at campaigning because campaigning is before you have to. All right. One of the roughest drawbacks with dating, right, is that someone's getting to know you. They don't know you yet, and you can put your best foot forward. You can even try to be the person you're pretending to be, but they're getting to know you, right? And the thing is that early phase where they're getting to know you, the good stuff that happens can also hurt you in the long run. Okay, like my buddy, all right, they had like a fun little, we're gonna cook for our first date, right? I'm gonna go take a little cooking class. And so they go to this cooking class, and there was this jar, and she couldn't open the jar. She was trying with the jar. Trying with the jar. And you can even tell that she was kind of loosening it, but finally she handed it to him, and he goes immediately, right? Which is great. You did it. But now you gotta be strong enough to open jars. It looked like that's what you do. No. Ooh, you gotta watch out. Some of the stuff that happens that first time, you in trouble, man. You in trouble if it's the first 3 dates and y'all get into something scary happens. Maybe somebody even tries to mug you or something like that, and you win the fight. Oh, I hope you weren't just lucky. I hope you weren't just lucky, because now my man fight, all right? She gonna tell everybody her man fights. She might even start a couple fights for you. Oh, you want my man to come over here and handle you? In the back of your head, you're like, look, the mugger slipped in a puddle. I mean, I just grabbed the purse back. That's all I did. And like dating
to being in a relationship is like what campaigning is to governing. It's wild even to watch some people's reactions. There are some people who have some truly insane and disgusting reactions, or just reactions that are meant to confuse. There are so many people that are like, why didn't the Dems release all this stuff years ago when Biden was president? And it's like, all right, this is the way that records work. There are some things that you could just release outright, like things that maybe you get from an estate or something like that. But then there are things that are part of an investigation, which as long as that investigation is going on, as long as that court case is going on, you can't just release those things to the public. Now that some of these things have been set to rest now, like, you know, obviously like Ghislaine is in jail and everything. And then there are other parts of documents that get redacted either because they're part of a potential ongoing investigation or it's to protect the name of a survivor of the abuse or something like that. There's all these different reasons that you could have for when you release things on whatever schedule. But even when people make that sort of argument, I'm like, wait, I can't tell. Are you mad that they are released? Like, what I don't even know what that's meant to accomplish. Why didn't the Dems release it sooner? It's like, all right, it's out now. Isn't that what we're talking about? That's insane. That type of logic would never hold up in like court. You'd never be able to go to court with like, look, if the police care so much, why didn't they catch me sooner? Y'all over here acting like you care. I did it a long time ago. You didn't try that hard to find me. Oh. You see so much of this stuff happening, and you're like, wow, every day you try to move on. Every time you try to move on, it gets worse. 20,000. And 20,003 emails. And I don't know what's going to happen, because if I'm being honest, like truly being honest with you right now, I know that one of the reasons that Trump is trying to get them to stop in the House from all signing the petition is because then it goes to the Senate, and then if enough people have turned on him in the Senate, it then goes to the president, and he is the president, which means he would have to, and we stopped electing people with integrity a long time ago. So like I don't expect, like truly, I don't expect Trump to sign something that is basically dry snitching on himself. I don't think that would happen. Dry humping. But I will say this, I think that there's a very slim chance that it's like Trump's gonna go to jail, or that this will be enough for everyone to turn on him and then just kick him out of office or anything. This is one of those things that is very bad. It's a very bad look. He's panicked about it. People are speculating why he's panicked about it, but it's not the thing that's gonna make him sort of like Nixon up out of here. I'm just being honest with you. And I think that it's easy to forget in all of these different chapters and all of these like extra extensions to the saga that is the sort of Epstein files, that there are real people. There are survivors of Epstein, there are survivors of Ghislaine, that are survivors of all of this abuse and trauma that deserve justice. And the thing that we can do, the thing that we just personally can do, is keep that in mind and hold the people that represent us to account. Let them know that we'll be looking at them for what they do consistently, that we'll be bringing it up, that we won't let it go away. It won't be over just because it falls out of the news cycle. It will not go away. It won't be over. And I think the only thing that we can do as individuals, but collectively together, is just keep farting in his cake as often as possible. Chattanooga, y'all been fantastic. Thank you so much. I
appreciate you.